The good news just keeps on rolling in for the Miami Heat. And after that second preseason game on Sunday afternoon against the New Orleans Pelicans, one thing is abundantly clear, and it's that this starting lineup for the Miami Heat is going to be much better this year than it was last season, and we just need everybody to stay healthy. I'm Nic Rohloff. This is the Heat Report by Chat Sports, because somehow, I'm being dead serious, when you think of Terry, Tyler, Jimmy, Jovic, Bam, the starting lineup in yesterday's preseason game since Herro returned in the projected starting group, that was the first time they have ever played together in a live game. Now, sure, they probably have done it in practice quite a bit, but in a live game against another opponent and another team, it was their first time. They just simply never had it line up last season due to injuries. And I thought they looked really, really good. And obviously, there's going to be a lot of rust that needs to be shaken off. They have never played together. There's going to be bumps. They don't know how to play with each other against a different team, not in practice at this point. So there's going to be a lot that they need to improve on. It's not perfect. Don't get it twisted. But for the first time ever against a team that features a pretty decent defensive group with Herb Jones, Dejounte Murray, I was very impressed with how they performed in the first preseason game. I want you to label your confidence level for me in this starting group. We're going to dive more into the statistics and why I think it's going to work out for Miami, but drop it, scale of 1 to 10. I think the vibes are pretty high. I'm feeling close to an 8.7. They did only play 15 minutes yesterday together in that first half. None of them play in the second half. The Heat had a really solid lead. They actually outscored the New Orleans Pelicans by 2 points in their 15 minutes. So they won technically in their minutes 34-32. And I thought the offense was good. They shot above 50% on their twos. They struggled from three-point land, but 34 points, 9 assists. And I just think the fluidity of the offense, the ball movement, the connective passing was really there. And that's what Nikola Jovic brings to the table. And Nikola actually really struggled. And the half-court offense was a little bumpy at times, and the three-point misses might have helped that. 4 for 15. I expect that group with Tyler, Terry, Jovic, Jimmy, and Bam to shoot much better than 4 of 15 from 3. I don't think that's going to happen often, especially when Nikola started off the game 0 of 3 from beyond the arc. And even Herro 2 of 6. Rozier 1 of 3. That was a little bit concerning. But when you talk about overall, the transition offense was better. And I think the shot selection is the most important thing here. Even though they did not shoot that well from 3, when you look at their 25 shots in the half-court offense, only 2 of them were non-paint 2s or 3s. What does that mean? Well, I mean, when you're talking about offense in this day and age of basketball, mostly everybody wants to take 3s and get into the paint. Well, last year, the Heat led the NBA in non-paint 2s. A lot of the inefficient, not good percentile shots and analytically shots in the mid-range. The Heat led the league in that. Well, now, if they only took 2 shots out of 25, that is a much better shot chart for the Miami Heat. It will allow them to have the best chance possible to score more points, whether they're getting better looks inside the paint, inside 8 feet from the rim, or from 3 on good looks from there. But outside of just the shot selection that was so promising, that transition offense, the fast break, is what I want to talk about the most. They had 30 fast break points. They outscored New Orleans by quite a bit in that margin. They also outscored them quite a bit in points in the paint with 56. New Orleans only had about 42 points, and they forced 24 turnovers. So the defense was good as well, which allowed the Heat to get out in transition. And that has been something that Miami has struggled with quite a bit over the past 2 seasons. Last season, they looked like a middle school offense. I'm telling you, 12-year-old Rolly might know more about transition offense than the Miami Heat did last year. But this time around, in what we saw yesterday, it was much better. 3-on-2, 4-on-2, 3-on-1, 2-on-1. It didn't matter. Either way, they were making the right decisions, whether it be drive, pump fake it to the rim, extra pass into an extra pass for a layup. They made the right decisions. They were getting good looks and finishing those good looks in transition, which was absolutely great to see. The defense obviously played a large role in that, but that transition offense was fantastic. And one last thing before we move on here, I want to go back to that points in the paint thing. Like I said, I know it was the whole game and it wasn't the entire starting group, but 56 points in the paint for Miami yesterday just shows you how their offense is a little bit different this year, less people in that restricted area. Bam Adebayo is more comfortable at the three-point arc. Jimmy Butler's not there. They'll still have their guys in the dunker spot and stuff like that, but they are not clogging up the paint, which allows Tyler, allows Jaime, allows Terry to get to the rim and finish without a big coming over weak side and helping deter some shots. The offense just looks way, way better right now than it did last season. More to talk here, but we do got to show some love to our proud sponsor on today's show, and that is Prize Picks, the #1 daily fantasy sports app and platform in North America with more than 10 million users on a daily basis. It's the best way to get in on the action in sports. There's over 30 states which allow it being legal. California, Florida, Georgia, Texas. You can now win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need the win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks is the best way to win real money this football season and basketball season. Which players are going off? Which ones aren't? Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your sports opinions and knowledge into real money all season long on Prize Picks. You can play it in so many different ways. You can go daily, which is what I do. You could also do season long as well, like this entry I have here. More than Bam Adebayo, 9.9 rebounds per game. More than Jalen Brunson, 6.8 assists per game. And less than Zachary Reese-Sachet, 10.2 points per game. You can do anything you want. You can combine season long with daily as well. All I know is that you guys got to get started with Prize Picks. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Once again, download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. I appreciate Prize Picks for sponsoring today's show. Prize Picks, run your game. All right, we talked about all the good news with that starting lineup, but I think it's a good thing to talk about what we saw from the starting backcourt between Tyler Herro and Terry Rozier, because I was also very pleased with what those two did together in their first shared action this season. They both scored more than 10 points. They combined to shoot 9 of 18 from the field. The three-point numbers are probably not what you'd like them to be at, both shooting 33%, 3 of 9 as a duo. But overall, I think it was very, very good to see Terry get inside the paint and finish a couple times, make a couple mid-range shots. Tyler doing the same exact thing. In the limited minutes they played together, I thought it was very, very good. And if they're able to play like that most of the season, stay healthy, really develop their rapport and chemistry in the backcourt, it is going to open up everything for Miami. We've often talked about how Nikola Jovic and Jaime Jaquez Jr. elevate the ceiling of this Miami Heat ball club, and they absolutely do. Those two young guys are the unknowns. But if you can get Terry Rozier and Tyler Herro playing efficient basketball together, playing off each other very, very well in terms of getting inside, spotting up for catch-and-shoot threes, this is going to be the make or break for Miami. That's why Pat Riley traded for Terry Rozier last year before the trade deadline, with hopes of him being a long-term fix in that backcourt alongside Tyler Herro, because they viewed him as a better long-term option over Kyle Lowry, who was on an expiring contract. I can't disagree with them on that notion, but we just didn't see it last year. They didn't play enough together, and with their defensive inefficiencies at time, that brings a serious concern. But with what we saw yesterday, we're starting to point in the right direction. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel because we are dropping daily videos as well as having watch parties. If you joined us on Sunday, it was an absolute blast. 130 people joined the channel. Appreciate all the new subscribers who subscribed to the channel and helped us get to 14K subs. We're not stopping there because tomorrow Victor Wembanyama comes to Miami. We'll be doing a watch party then and as well as Wednesday afternoon as well. To wrap up the conversation on Tyler Herro and Terry Rozier here, though, but I did like what I saw defensively as well. I'm not going to act like they went out there and were the best defensive backcourt duo of all time. That's not even close to the truth. But Herro is playing a little bit of different mindset here, and I like what I saw as they were guarding Dejounte Murray, as they were guarding CJ McCollum. McCollum struggled from the field. Dejounte Murray played pretty well. He's kind of a mismatch for the Heat, if we're going to be honest, because Terry and Tyler both aren't the biggest guys, don't have the longest wingspans. Dejounte Murray at 6'3", 6'4", with a 6'10" wingspan can just rise over the top of them, so it's a tough matchup. But Herro is now playing at 200 pounds. He said that at Media Day. Last year he played at 189, which is the highest he's ever played at. This year, he said he came into training camp at 200 pounds, which is obviously the highest he's ever played basketball in his career. He made a conservative effort to add weight on the muscle department, not on the fat department, to be stronger, absorb contact, be able to defend at a better rate, not get pushed off the spot either defensively or offensively, and play a good brand of basketball, which is durable basketball. And what I have seen from Tyler and what people have talked about at training camp and in practices, I think this is a season where we're going to see Tyler Herro take a really good step. Is it going to be an all-star, all-NBA step? Probably not, but it is going to be the step that the Miami Heat need him to take in order to be a more efficient, winning basketball player, and I am very, very excited to see mature Tyler Herro in year 6. All right, last thing we're going to talk about here before we wrap up today's episode that I know people aren't going to like this, but we've said it a couple times. We said it on the live show yesterday. Juice Smith is going to keep his two-way contract. And I projected, and a lot of us did in this entire offseason, that they were just doing that as a courtesy to him after he was recovering from a knee injury, and it was likely that Isaiah Stevens was going to get that two-way contract with Keshad Johnson, who did not play yesterday, by the way. Nasir Little got those minutes, and then obviously Josh Christopher, who played yesterday as well. But it all looks like this. Juice Smith is going to be on a two-way contract for Miami this year. He is going to be up on the active roster quite a bit early on in the season with no Josh Richardson acting as the backup point guard because you can tell that Eric's supposed to trust him running an offense, and he is actually a pest defensively. Don't get it twisted. He is a really good defender. He got his hands in the passing lanes. He got his hands on a lot of balls yesterday. He deflected a lot. He disrupted a lot. Juice Smith is a very, very good defender. It's unfortunate that he is horrific at offense and not that good of an athlete because he would be someone very valuable to this team with how good he is at the defense. Just really can't do anything offensively. All right, that's going to do it for today's show. Make sure you are following me over on Twitter at Nic_Rohloff. More Heat content over there in between our videos, tweeting highlights, tweeting my thoughts during games as well. You want the full experience here at the Heat Report. Got to be subscribed, but you also got to be following me over on Twitter at Nic_Rohloff.